think it was last year,
yeah. Yeah, it was the last regular season game, I think, of 2017, if I remember. It was just before the...
Well, Leeds rested a lot of players for a game at Wigan, and gave some kids a go, and he was one of them. And he's had a taste at Leeds, but he spent most of the year on dual reg at Featherstone. Was outstanding. He scored a lot of tries, averaged more than a try a game. People at Featherstone were calling him the new Paul Newlove. He's very highly rated. Wow. He's someone certainly to watch out for.
I suppose one thing the Leeds fans that'll listen to this will want to know is there still recruitment to be done? And are we reading too much into the vacant number 25 shirt to think that maybe there is some recruitment still to be done?
Well, it's not the first time Leeds have done that. I think the cap is more or less full at the moment. They would probably have to move some players on. I mean, they might be able to squeeze another one in, but certainly if they were to make more than one signing, they'd have to move some players on. So I think it depends a lot on that. But there is obviously the space in the squad if someone becomes available. But it's getting late in the day to find someone of the right quality, isn't it?
Yeah.
But having said that, obviously if someone moves on or once the season starts, things begin to change. So that option is there.
So where can obviously Leeds fans are going to be getting excited again. They're in this cycle of do rubbish and then win the title, then do rubbish, then win the title, then do rubbish. So
it's important to say this: the Leeds team that plays in 2019 isn't going to be the Leeds team that's won all these titles. I think Jamie Jones Buchanan is the last man standing now from the golden generation. He's in his final year. Leeds are in a period of transition. I think Leeds are a couple of years away from being a genuine title contending team. Maybe I'll be proved wrong with that, but certainly they're going to have a better year, I think, next year. And looking long term, I think fans can start to feel quite optimistic about the future. Let's say they may have to be patient for a year or two.
Where can people keep up to date on anything that goes on between now and the start of the season for Leeds?
Well, you can buy a copy of the Yorkshire Evening Post, or we're online at yorkshireeveningpost.co.uk.
That's brilliant. Thanks for that, Peter. Great coverage for the Leeds Rhinos off-season chat.
Right, Rich. 2018's in the past. The off-season is what the off-season is. There's been lots of recruitment and it's all changed at Leeds. So that really helps us look forward to 2019 slightly differently. Do you think the change brings a huge sense of optimism, or is there maybe concern because of the amount of change? Maybe it's going to be a bedding-in season for this new group?
Look, really good points to kind of tackle there, which is we've recruited really, really well. However, you need to just dig a little bit deeper on that recruitment. We brought in Trent Merrin, who's an outstanding ball-playing forward who can make meters and is very creative, got an excellent offload and won't let you down in defence. However, Mitch Garbutt was our number one meter-making forward. The problem was that he was in and out with injury. We needed Garbutt to be fit and another meter-making forward. What we've done is replace a bulldozer with a Range Rover. Now, if we've paid, allegedly, Merrin's on 400k a year. If we expect Merrin to be a bulldozer on 400k a year, again, we've disproportioned our marquee signing and salary cap. Merrin's gone into the squad number 11, Jamie Jones's number. He's going to be a ball-playing back rower. My gut feeling is he'll play loose forward. He'll make some meters, do what Cuthbertson did, but he's a tighter unit than Cuthbertson. He does what Cuthbertson does in the NRL without Cuthbertson basically being told never to offload the ball in the NRL because he's a liability. So what we've got is an NRL standard Cuthbertson, where Cuthbertson's a Super League standard ball playing forward. So that's great, but is it the answer to Leeds dominating packs week in, week out? I'm not sure. So again, let's talk about Lola here first. Lola here was a player who has done things that are sublime and unplayable in the NRL and has gone the length of the field on numerous occasions and set up wonder tries with wonder balls. He's doing some good stuff for Tonga, but he hasn't been able to hold down an NRL place and has ended up playing reserve grade in the last 3 or 4 years, more than he has been playing first grade base. basically, in terms of if he has played first grade, he's played out of position,
so
not position he wants to.
So you might have a good insight on that because you're a West Tigers fan as well, and that was where he ended up last year. Why do you think that was? But more importantly, how do you think he can overcome that sort of, let's say, inconsistency and maybe lack of disciplined commitment to his performances, that he'll overcome it for Leeds, and why will it be different?
Well, look, I think this is... I live in Oz, I love the NRL, and I love Super League, but let's not be under any illusion. The opportunity to make mistakes in Super League is a lot more... comes with a lot less leniency than it does in the NRL. Make mistakes in the NRL, you absolutely get punished. You make mistakes in Super League, and you might get away with it if you're lucky, because the ball, ball retention and the value of position, you're going to get much more punished in the NRL. So someone like Lola here will have the freedom to play a more natural game without the consequences of playing in the most intense competition in the world. And I think it'll suit him. It's one of these where it'll suit him. But the problem with people like Lola here is such a big unit is going to be keeping him fit. In the NRL, it's great for these guys because they've got to be super match fit. We've got Lola here and Horrell. If they get on the pies and are out round Leeds on the piss, we're going to have some real problems, because the NRL, simply the fitness levels and the intensity of the game keep you, once you're playing week in, week out, keep you match fit.
But
if
Connie
we can keep
Horrell, moving on to Connie Horrell in that point, then there is obvious fitness concerns around him, because he is a big bloke and does seem to be a guy who likes a good time. But do you think he brings a level of emotional leadership that maybe might help the dressing room?
Well, he's talismanic, isn't he? He's one of them where the fans are going to love him if he can bring some of his best to the table.
And he does
the problem with Horrell,
Lola here point about his mistakes he'll probably get away with in Super League.
Yeah. However, I think Lola here's are more out of ambition, where Horrell is one of these guys who is absolutely unplayable or he can't catch a ball. And that's been the problem in his career, So it's going to be
how
back
good
to,
he is sometimes and does something stupid instead.
He does, yeah. So it's one of them where my gut feeling is that, and I'm surprised, and that my gut feeling was that they might play Sutcliffe in the centre with Watkins, and they'll play Horrell on the wing. That's why I thought it might pan out. So Horrell essentially is going to take over that bulldozing role of Ryan Hall, and what you might see is that it looks like they're going to play Horrell in the centre, but I'm thinking on maybe and outside him they're going to play Hanley, but on fifth tackle plays you may see Horrell move onto the wing to come back to bring that ball forward, to get those sets rolling, to be that demonstrative kind of character that he is, because basically when he's taking that ball up,
then he has to catch. That's a problem.
There is that. Yeah. I'm hoping he's just going to pick it up off the floor.
Okay.
That's my envisage, the off the floor stuff. So the high bombs in the corner, I'm just trickling, towards touchline, pick it up, drive it back out the 20. That's what I'm thinking. But those early set kind of motions.
Which of the three big signings that you've given us good insight on, from obviously watching them for years down under as well up close, which of those three big signings do you think will have the biggest impact at Leeds next year
that's
and
obvious.
beyond?
It's Merrin, hands down. He's an Origin player, he's an Australian player. He's such a cool guy in terms of being so chilled out, so relaxed, but so professional about what he does. He is what every dressing room needs, and he's such a good forward at taking the ball up. Defensively, he's one of these guys who's almost infallible, and as a ball player, he's so shrewd. Merrin's the pick amongst those. Horrell's going to bring a lot to the table. If we can get the best out of him 60% of the time, he's going to be a Super League fan's favourite. But Merrin is every bit the professional,
I think that's probably what I was thinking too, because I just think the other two, there's questions about consistency that aren't there.
100%.
Merrin.
Yeah.
It's prediction time then, really, and. Will the cycle be repeated? So, the cycle is champions shit year. Will it be repeated, Rich?
Look, I'm forever the Leeds Rhinos optimist, and in my mind, we're going to win everything. However, reality, to just bring it back to reality, I think because of the money spent, we've got a stadium to fill. And to fill a stadium, we've got to play a certain way. And we haven't really talked about Ferner being in the mix, and I think he's a great coach. He'll bring a lot to Leeds. We were going to see some more structure to Leeds. So top 5 is a prerequisite because we're trying to fill a brand new massive stadium. I think Leeds will finish 3rd. However, we'll be in the hunt for trophies, and I think probably Challenge Cup's the best we can do. I can't see past Saints for the grand final because people thought Barber's gone or whatever. The recruitment they've made this year with, I think they've got Junior Paolo, Naguama. Is it Joseph Paolo they've got?
Yeah, it's the
Joseph Paolo.
Yeah, the ball handling.
Kevin Naguama,
the big one.
Yeah, and Lachlan Koo. They are that they've absolutely, their recruitment's out of this world.
I mean,
so
that's interesting.
If Alex Walmsley can get back and fit, I think totally. Saints are going to be Saints are going to be really tough to beat. I think Leeds can have a good cup run and they can get the Challenge Cup right. I think Leeds will be there or thereabouts, but
I think it's interesting.
I think they're going to.
Yeah, you went with Leeds finishing 3rd because that's where I'm at in my head. I'm confident for you, for Leeds, that you'll be in the top 5 next year. I think you've recruited well enough. I don't think in the final reckoning you'll be lifting any silverware, just because of that question I asked about bedding in season and the conversation we had before about not enough prime time leaders to control the game in that last few minutes. But I think you're building. You're back, aren't you? This year, it's going to be exciting. That Leeds are going to provide us with exciting moments rather than just what's the word I'm looking for? But joy for the rest of us.
Headless chickens. It's like the success of the club's been predicated on playing this Harlem Globetrotters style off the cuff rugby league. Well, Ferner's not going to do that. He's going to play with a lot more structure. People remember him as a hard hitting, ball playing traditional lot forward, but he's been a defensive coach for teams, but he's also been an attacking coach, and he was given a lot of credit for South's success with ball in hand. So I think it's going to be interesting to see what Leeds can deliver.
Inside balls, then, aren't we?
There we go. Yeah.
To full back or to 6-1 running back off inside balls. We're going to.
Well, that's right. Well, there's no doubt, but you raise a great point. There's no doubt Walker's got to have. He had his breakout season where he came in, played half a dozen games. Then he had to play like a man last year and got shown up for being a boy. Now he's got to play like a professional, and that'll be interesting to see. Now, I think one thing that we can say about Leeds is that they've got the checkbook out.
Yeah.
We have got marquee players to fill a stadium, but I think that also puts us in front of Wakefield, Castleford, Hull, who we've struggled to get in front of, but we've always had the money to spend it. Edmonton just didn't want to spend it, but we've gone and bought players that they physically can't buy. They don't have the coffers to do it, and essentially it's one of them where the investment in the squad needs to come to the table. And I think if we do, we're going to get in front of Castleford, who I think will probably finish about 7th. I'll be honest, not convinced by what they're doing, and I think Hull FC, and you're going to love this. I think only team finish below Hull are London. I think Hull finish 11th.
You have put the cat right amongst the pigeons there, Rich, to round off this. What was supposed to be the Leeds Rhinos SLP short, but I think it's the pot stirring SLP short just at the end there. So thanks for being involved. Great insight, great views, and nice little wind-ups at the end as well. I really like that, Rich. So brilliant. Thanks for being a part of this SLP short.
Mate, I love it, and after listening to the last few others and people stick the toe into Leeds, it was only right to get the stakes where we need them going into the next season, mate.
Completely.
Good man.
Okay, top work, and thanks again, Rich and Peter, and thanks to you all for listening to this episode of SLP Shorts. Keep your ears out for more similar shows as we look at as many teams across the leagues as we can during this off-season. We've got something coming up with St Helens and Warrington next in line. We're trying to put something together for London and Toronto. We're still waiting to hear from anyone out there who wants to talk to us about Salford or Catalan. Get in touch if you do want to be involved in those shows. If you want more SLP in your life, you can find us at Super League Pod on Twitter and Instagram. It's facebook.com/Super League Pod. Or you can send us an email, superleaguepod@gmail.com, if you want to talk to us or give us any feedback.